The finale of The Boys just dropped, marking the end of the show as we know it. Sure, we have The Boys Mexico coming in the future. Sure, we have Vault Rising coming. The Gen V just got canceled, so we don't got to worry about that. But this show was the introduction to the universe for us. This was something special, especially season 1, season 2, season 3, peak television. Now, season 4 is where you see a giant drop in quality, and even parts of season 5. I am of the assumption that you can conduce season 5 down to like 3, 4 episodes and have a really good season. There's quite a lot of filler for this being the final season of your show. Now, I am mainly going to be talking about the finale here, but I am going to be talking a little bit about season 5 as well. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back, give me your thoughts below. Let's have a conversation here. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Going into this last episode, I had a lot of worries. I felt like there was a lot of loose ends that they needed to tie up, and I really did not think that they were going to do that, especially because they weren't extending the episode. It was only a 65-minute episode, so that was a lot to cram in there. Surprisingly, they did tie it together in a pretty satisfying way. I felt like there was a couple things I would have changed, but overall, I wouldn't say this is like a shitty ending to a show. Like they somehow were nosediving the plane and then somehow landed it in the Hudson. I see some people compare it to the Game of Thrones ending, and while I cannot do that myself, one ending I do hold near and dear to my heart for being shitty, Dexter. So if I'm comparing season 5 of The Boys and season 8 of Dexter, this is nowhere near in the same conversation. As an ending, this is a pretty satisfying conclusion. There's a couple things that would change looking back at it, but I mean, as a whole, I'm pretty happy with this. But that does not mean I don't have a couple gripes. I got some problems. I sent a video the other day that Soldier Boy's whole reason for coming back for season 5 depends on what they do with him in the finale. And I can confidently say that they don't do shit with him in the finale. He's not even in the episode. They only brought him back to promote Vault Rising, and that low-key kind of pisses me off. Because he started the season on ice and ended the season on ice. There was no reason for him to be brought back. We had Bomb Sight, Golden Geisha, Stormfront, Soldier Boy, all brought up in season 5 to promote a fucking prequel. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited for it. I'm a big fan of period pieces, but why are we spending the last season of your main show promoting a fucking prequel? Now, let's go ahead and get into Homelander's death, because I feel like this was a very well executed scene, but I feel like there was a couple things I would add as well. First up, why are we stopping the momentum of our main fight, our season 5, everything's built up to this fight. Why are we stopping the momentum for fucking Frenchie? The moment I see her chest start fluttering, I'm like, oh my fucking god. Like, I'm over here cheering at the screen, clapping at the screen, and then it fucking slows down and I see this fuck again. Like, I get it, he's part of the team, you should put him in the last episode. Why? Why? If you're gonna make me feel emotional for him, do it last episode. Do it the rest of the season. Like what, you don't feel the anger looking at the guy that just killed Frenchie? Lock in, Kamiko. What are we doing? That's my biggest gripe with the episode. Not only that, I feel like it's a tiny bit cheap that they gave Kamiko Soldier Boy's chest blast, because they basically had the same exact plan to kill Homelander that they had back in season 3. They're just replacing Soldier Boy with Kamiko. And I've been saying for weeks, Ryan is the only natural born soup. Are we sure Kamiko's chest blast took his powers away? Like, I don't think he has V1 in his blood. I think it's his blood. I think the main thing that everyone's kind of confused about is the dick tease that they were giving us with the teaser posters actually showing Scorched Earth and then never giving Scorched Earth. Like, I feel like we could have at least got like Scorched DC, destroy a couple buildings, at least like destroy the Oval Office more, like broken chairs. I've seen more damage in WWF. My favorite part of the episode is when they actually had Homelander lose his powers. The scenes where he's trying to use his flight and his laser eyes and realizing he can't and he has to face his consequences with Butcher man to man. Bro, fucking brilliant. That's what I wanted. Now, I know a couple people were saying that they wanted the villain to win in the end, Homelander to come out on top, but I feel like Homelander's whole character is built on a very unstable foundation. It was always meant to crack. He is literally the representation of
everything special about you came out of a bottle.
It is a tiny bit strange that this fight happens so quickly when this is V1 Homelander. This is supposed to be the most powerful version of Homelander that we got so far. He's flying a guy to the moon and back in like, what, 2 seconds? And yet he can't fly out of a room. Like, tiny things like that. that I just kind of forget that this is V1 Homelander we're going up against. The moment I see Homelander's brains on the floor, I'm looking at the shot clock. We got like half of the episode left. That's kind of worrisome. So obviously we go back to the safe house. Everyone's celebrating. Everyone's having a good time. Butcher goes to find Terror dead. Then he starts to ominously walk out the house and drive away. This is the moment that I'm thinking Butcher hit a bomb somewhere in the house. They're about to go antagonist Butcher and leave it off with one last shebang. Luckily, they didn't do that. They just went the route of Butcher wanting to kill every soup, which I'm glad they didn't just kill all the boys. That would have been fucking horrific. I kind of do agree with him. In a couple years, you will kind of have someone try to take the place of Homelander, especially with Stan Edgar still in the position that he is at Vought. It's just a matter of time. I can see in a couple of years, maybe 5-10 years, them bringing back Ryan, him never having lost his powers, and him kind of being like the Homelander done right. Not that Homelander wasn't done right here, but I feel like Ryan would have a lot more like grit to him, kind of be like a more ruthless version of Homelander. It would be interesting to see, I think. Anyways, Butcher goes to Vought Tower to put the soup-killing virus in the sprinkler system of all the floors and waits for all the soups to clock in for the day. That's when Huey goes and finds him, and surprisingly, we get a one-on-one fight with Huey and Butcher. This was a very needed fight. I don't know if I liked that Huey was the one that killed Butcher, but in terms of the fight, everything that Butcher has put Huey through for the past 5 seasons, the lying, deceiving, the coming back, the basically treating him like a pawn, this is a very needed fight. And I gotta say, Huey's putting up more of a fight with Butcher than depowered Homelander was. There was one punch particularly that knocked the wind out of me, and I didn't even get hit by it. Right there, ribs cracked on impact. Holy shit. Like I said, I don't know if I like that Huey was the one to kill Butcher in the end, but I do think that Butcher needed to die in order for this story to wrap up in a bow. Because let's be honest, Butcher was not going to stop at any cost until every soup on Earth was dead, including Starlight and Kimiko. Well, I don't know. I feel like Show Butcher is kind of more empathetic and might let them slide. Did Huey go through each floor of Vought Tower, somehow taking the virus out of the sprinkler system? And if so, how did he do it without releasing the virus entirely? Or did he do it at all? Did he just leave it there and the next time that there's a fire, it's just going to be a soup genocide? Now I'm thinking they didn't tie as much loose ends as I thought. Let's go ahead and talk about Starlight versus the Deep, because I got a couple gripes here as well. I feel like the Deep had a nice conclusion to his story. I feel like the inclusion with Starlight was a very nice touch and a good callback to season 1 and how all this has started. It shows that he's still not taking the responsibility, which is fucking hilarious. And his death by the sea life and the octopus was very poetic for his character, but why are they on a beach? Starlight, you were the one controlling the flight. Why would you take him to a beach not knowing that the fish are going to kill him at that point? Yeah, we've seen you charge your powers with solar power, but I feel like solar energy takes a little bit longer to charge than like electrical energy, which we've mainly seen you use. So why not take him to a phone tower, an electrical plant, somewhere where you have the upper hand? You took the enemy to his home turf, not knowing that the fish were against him. It was very convenient. It was very nice for the story, but why are we on a beach? Oh my god, and Sister Sage pissed me off. I've never seen a character that I've hated more and more and more with each passing episode. You make a character that's the smartest person on Earth. That's supposed to be a MacGuffin to basically create anything that you want. You have a cheat code at your disposal, and yet you waste it on stupid ass decisions that nobody would make. Genuinely, why would you put all your eggs in one basket hoping that Soldier Boy just doesn't give the V1 to Homelander? And then she wants to go off to Harry Potter world or whatever the fuck. Season 5 as a whole, it's not a masterpiece. It does not live up to Season 1, Season 2, or Season 3. But as a finale, again, this landed the plane pretty fucking safely. It checked most of the check boxes it needed to. And sure, yeah, we can add a few things here and there. We could change a few things here and there. But they gave us the ending that we wanted for the most part, or at least the ending that I wanted for the most part. I think the one downside for the show as a whole was it didn't take itself as seriously as it progressed, meaning some of the crude humor that we got in season 1 and season 2 was very fresh back then, but when you throw it in season 4, season 5, where we really don't have time to be messing around, it just feels like kind of a waste of time. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for the writer's room for this, because I want to know whose idea it was to have 2 different plot lines going on at the same exact time. On one hand, you're trying to end your show. You're trying to kill Homelander. On the other hand, you're bringing back Soldier Boy to promote Vault Rising because you don't know what the fuck to do after this final season. If you're asking me, I feel like they should have squeezed the Soldier Boy stuff into season 4, not season 5. I feel like there's less of a time jump between seeing the characters, so it'd feel a little bit less random. We would actually have the time for it. You would actually give Homelander the V1 at the end of season 4. You spend all of season 5 with the world reacting and building up the character of V1 Homelander. And maybe we get some time for Scorched Earth at that point, or at least add like 2 to 4 episodes to this last season, because I don't know, it shouldn't feel so rushed, but it does. But somehow they stuck the landing, but it still felt rushed. I am going to miss this show quite a bit, and I am sad that it's ending. I don't think The Boys Mexico is going to live up to these standards at all. And while I am excited for Vault Rising, it's not going to feel the same, especially season 1 to season 3. That is peak television right there. Is it weird that I already have nostalgia for those seasons? No, because I do feel like there was a big drop in quality after that, so I feel like it is a little bit different. Sure, I can sit here and complain and say that the past couple seasons didn't live up to the first seasons, but this show as a whole has given me some moments that I am not going to be able to ever forget. Growing up on horror movies, I didn't know that I was missing so much of this gore, so much of this absurdity from my superhero content. This show, along with Invincible, has re-sparked my love for superhero content that I've had ever since I was a kid, especially since my fading love with the MCU. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, whether it's for the finale, the entire season, the entire show, this entire video as a whole. Let's have a conversation here. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and if everything works out, we might be able to hit this before 4th of July. Well, that's it for me. I'm Lane Floyd, and thanks for watching The Paranoid Zone.